polls, politics, elections, who has momentum. That's what's really occupying the political class this morning. The PNP commissioned Don Anderson poll, yes, is generating a lot of discussion because for the first time in some time, in 2-3 years, a poll, whether PNP, JLP, Don, Blue Dot, is showing one of the two major political parties with a big lead of almost 8 points. 8 points translated into an election that's a big landslide win, which would mean a complete turnaround from the 49-14 we now have in terms of seats in the House of Representatives. And, of course, the political class, including the activists and the two parties, are dissecting the numbers through their own lens, the green lens and the orange lens, to put the best spin on it. But here are the basic numbers. According to the PNP commissioned poll, the question was asked, who would you vote for? Yes, if you had an opportunity to do so in a general election today. And the poll was conducted between April 4 and April 12 among persons over the age of 18. The pollsters interviewed 1,057 people, and they say the poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. And based on the respondents, the PNP would get 36.8% of the support of the respondents. 36.8 say they would vote for the PNP. Round that out to 37%. While the JLP would get 29%. 29%. Yes? Of course, those numbers means that the PNP has a big lead of 8 percentage points. This is not a small lead. It's not within the well outside of the margin of error. That's a big lead, which we haven't seen in polls for some time in Jamaica. According to the numbers as well, 19% of the respondents say they are undecided. They haven't made up their mind. And 15% say they would not vote. 15%. Now, what seems to be one of the things that is striking for me, the size of the lead. If you follow politics in the country, you would not be surprised that the PNP is ahead based on the local government election results, where they won the popular vote. Yes? And the whole mood of the country. The country is in an anti-government mood. The mood of the country is one of discontent. The mood of people is, things not right. Yeah? There are issues with water. So the mood of the country is not one of optimism. It's negative. So I'm not surprised that the PNP is ahead. Yes? You go about the country and you develop, as long as I've been around, some protests, and it's clear people are turned off of the Holness administration. And I've been saying it for quite some time. The administration needs a revamp, a reset. Yes? And it has not done so. So the poll results are not surprising for me. What is surprising is the extent of the lead. And also, by these numbers, we would have a turnout of about 65% of people voting. 65%? The last election we had a turnout of 37%. I don't see us having a 65% turnout. I would love to discuss that with Don and his team, because based on these numbers, we would have a turnout of more than 60%, which would be good for the democracy. That would be very good for the democracy, because right now we are on the precipice with turnouts of 37% in the last general and 30% in the local. So that is also indicating something that is moot. Yes? But I think for Mark Golding and the PNP, this is music to their ears. Yes? They're in the political ascendancy. And I don't think you can doubt that. February 26 proved that. And for all of you out there who are still casting doubt over what happened on February 26, yeah, you are living in cuckoo land. Yeah, the PNP under Mark Golding is in the political ascendancy. The Jamaica Labour Party and Prime Minister Holness are on the back foot. They are on the ropes. And it was a caller who said to me last night, faithful, that he doesn't get the impression that the government is really interested in winning a third term. Was it faithful? Yes. Said it's as if they're asleep. He doesn't get the impression that they're really serious or motivated to press for a third term. It's as if they're battle weary, complacent, not with it. While the PNP he kept on using the word strategic. The PNP was being strategic. And you can see that. The PNP is much better organized today. Its ability to control the narrative, yeah, is being demonstrated. It's controlling the narrative in the political arena. The government is making several unforced errors. Yes. The government seems to have one spokesman, the Prime Minister. You don't hear the team around the Prime Minister. And in politics, when you have one spokesperson, as in the Prime Minister, yes, he's your chief marketing officer. However, after 8 years at the wicket, yes, the brand begins to wear off. The magic, the shine wears off. And you don't see the other front bench, members of the front bench stepping up. Yeah? While the PNP controls social media. And I live to see that because it was a JLP who controlled social media. Now the PNP dominates social media. Yeah? I woke up Sunday morning early, and by the time I wake up, I was seeing the Donna Anderson poll results with the PNP narrative. Yeah? Spinning the numbers on the favorability numbers between Holness and Golding. The PNP are out there. Yeah? Their political engine room is humming while Belmont Road is flat, dead. And that's why a faithful has to ask, has the government conceded the next election? Yeah? Let me hear what you think. In moments like these, you find the partisans rushing to the defense of their parties. Yes? And this moment will be no different. Yes, no different. The poll results are hot. One of the first reactions we have had on the record is from the former PNP politician, now turned Labourite, the former councillor, Venetia Phillips. According to Miss Phillips, the polls are a distraction and part of what she calls a long-time PNP strategy that the public should reject. Speaking on social media, as well as with Nationwide, Ms. Phillips dismissed the polls, saying that they are not credible.
They are no longer credible. You can get what you pay for in a poll. Today, no one can challenge that. As a matter of fact, PNP used to use this internally. It was used in a vicious and savage way. It is something they use when they want to remove candidates who would put up a fight anyway. So this is actually a strategic tool in the toolbox of the PNP. These polls, I wouldn't give any credence to them. This particular one. So rather than spend the money to help to develop people, you waste it on polls to do what? Massage the ego of the leader of the PNP? How sad. The good thing is, in Jamaica, Tom may look drunk, but Tom ain't no fool. So nobody's giving any credence to this.
That's Venetia Phillips. She says the poll is part of a strategy she saw employed several times by the PNP during her many years as a comrade.
I mean, come on, just think about it. It is so odd that a PNP commissioned poll has been run so many times by the Gleaner. And I can tell you why. They're hoping that people will not recognize it to be a PNP poll in order to validate it. But just think about it. I made a wager only yesterday. Yeah, man, I made a bet that the next news item is going to be that PNP or Mark Golding surges ahead. I only just noticed a tweet from Dayton saying the very same thing I made a bet about yesterday. This is a played out strategy by the PNP. And when I say played out, it is so overused.
Ms. Phillips says the PNP is concerned about the traction gained by the government following the implementation of several measures announced in the recent budget debate. According to Ms. Phillips, the polls are intended to help blunt the impact of those measures.
But look at the stupidity of this particular poll. It is coming when they need a distraction from the fact that what? The 1st of April came in when the salary adjustments, the second part, would have taken effect. So it is coming in to coincide with the month-end payments. Teachers are feeling a little bit better. Public servants generally, those who have seen a movement in their salaries, they're in a kind of a different mood and mode. You see it all across social media, even from some known comrades, And so what they want to do is detract from that.
That's Venetia Phillips, the former PNP councillor for the Pepin division in St. Andrew. she lost the seat for the JLP in the recent local elections. Yes? And much of that debate and points being made by Ms. Phillips, much of that is being played out on social media. Right? And also on our YouTube platforms. Yeah? Now, we talk about road rages, that we are killing so many people on our roads every year because of the bad driving. And that video of the driver of a white Toyota Probox motor car going off into a rage against the driver of a Pajero who was involved in an accident with him last Friday is a case in point of what is happening on our roads. When you watched that video, is the mercy of God and the intervention of others which prevented the loss of life. Yes. When you saw how the driver of the Probox, 37-year-old Peter Bramwell, attacked the man inside the Pajero Jeep after both vehicles were involved in the crash, you realize that, as I said, is the mercy of the Lord why he never connect and kill the driver of the Pajero. And the female passenger in the Pajero, her screams and clear fear tell you how dangerous the situation was. Yes. And, you know, we have to again urge our fellow Jamaicans, if you're involved in an accident on the road, there's a process there. If the two of you can't come to some resolution, then you head for the police station. You head for the police station. There's no need to attack each other, whether verbally or physically. There's a well-established process. If you feel say me wrong or you wrong, use the process to determine culpability and compensation. But you can't descend into that kind of rage and then we're learning from the police that this man Bramwell, he really ought not to be on the road. He really ought not to be on the road. 61 outstanding traffic tickets. 61? Huh? And either 2 or 3 warrants? This is a failure of the traffic management system we have in the country, because 61 outstanding traffic tickets tell you, at minimum, he's an habitual offender. He ought not to be on the road. Well, here's the first report from Noraghi on the latest on that.
Reports are that the driver of the Mitsubishi Pajero attempted to leave the scene of the accident to make a report at the police station. But it appeared that bit of information was not communicated clearly to Bramwell. It's understood Bramwell became enraged after the Pajero motorist attempted to drive away without explaining to him how the damage to the vehicle will be repaired. The video started with Bramwell armed with a car jack, using his hand to repeatedly bang on the Pajero and instructing the driver to come out of the vehicle. When the driver of the Pajero failed to exit his vehicle, Bramwell went berserk. He used a car jack to break the window of the driver's side of the Pajero. Bramwell then ran back to the Pro Box, armed himself with what appeared to be a knife, and returned to the Pajero. He then smashed the remaining portion of the driver's window and appeared to stab repeatedly at the driver. The Pajero driver was forced to escape the vehicle through the passenger's front door. A woman filmed the incident from the passenger seat of the Pajero.
No, I can just leave.
I don't think you should. Stop! Close the door, close the door, close the door. Stop! We're gonna fix it! We're gonna fix it! Stop! Stop! Please stop! Please stop! Please stop! Please stop!
Step back.
Please, we're gonna fix it!
Stop!
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 Give me that.
Please, we're gonna give you the insurance. I'm gonna give you the insurance. Please stop! Please stop! Please stop! Please!
Bramwell then ran back to the Pro Box, where this time he appeared to grab a machete. A man in a helmet with a knapsack on his back intervened in the dispute. He tried to restrain Bramwell, who appeared dead set on harming the driver of the Pajero. Another aspect of the video showed another man who appeared to be armed with a handgun, pulling Bramwell away in a bid to further de-escalate the situation. Other onlookers could also be seen and heard in the video beseeching Bramwell to calm down. Bramwell has been charged with disorderly conduct, malicious destruction of property, and assault occasioning actual bodily harm. Nora Gay Banton for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Nora. Well, as I said, the head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, Assistant Commissioner Gary McKenzie, told us yesterday afternoon that they did their research on Bramwell. And what did they find? 61 outstanding traffic tickets.
We have also found 4 traffic warrants for Mr. Bramwell, to include operating motor vehicle without a road license, no motor vehicle insurance coverage, failing to obey police command, and obscured registration plate. There are also 40 other warrants that have been ordered, and we are waiting to collect them, and they will be collected and executed on him. We also did research on the driver of the Mitsubishi Pajero motor car, Mr. Devon Blake. No warrants were found. There were no outstanding tickets for him. It is important to note that Mr. Bramwell also has 61 outstanding tickets.
No, this is a failure of the system. And that is not new. Because we know we have had and continue to have hundreds of drivers on the road who ought not to be on the road because of their habitual practice of breaking the road traffic rules every day and getting away with it. So Bramwell is not singular. There's a lot of them out there like Bramwell. A lot of them. They have no regard for the road code. Absolutely none. And they are prepared to do what Bramwell did. Caught on video. He could have killed that man. He could have killed him. Yeah. According to ACP McKenzie, please observe the protocols when you are involved in an accident.
We cannot resort to aggressive, outrageous, or disorderly conduct. It is a requirement by law for persons to stop when a crash occurs and for the necessary exchange of information to be made and for the matter to be reported to the police. If for any reason a motorist deem that it is not safe for them to stop, they can proceed directly to a police station. If a person is involved in a crash and the other party for some reason do not stop, it is incumbent on the person to take note of the information on the vehicle, for example, the registration plate, and report it to the police.
Yes. That is how it is to be done. No need to get into an argument. If you're driving to the police station, tell the person, come, let's head to the nearest police station. Which is the nearest police station? In this case, Crossroads. Come with me. Let us go to Crossroads. But then you know why Bramwell didn't interested in going to Crossroads police station. Yeah? He didn't want to face the police because he knew his record. Yeah? So while this other gentleman wanted to go to the police station, he didn't want to. He wanted to intimidate him.